Hey everyone, this is Kevin the Apptrepreneur, and welcome to a little bonus video today, if you will. Now, this is not going to have the polish that most of my polish, that's a good word, right? You all got a good laugh out of that one, didn't you? Polish of most of my videos. First of all, the stupid camera is humming, so I'm sorry about that. Also, the heater is going on and off, and it's raining outside, so I have no idea how this is actually going to look. But hey, we've got Nick Offerman, is that his name? Nick Offerman? Here with a little, fireplace, and he's looking at us, judging me with his drink in hand, nodding, kind of going like, yeah, you're never going to be famous like me. So, it's going to be kind of one of those days. Now, this is a bonus video because this is, I want to stress, not content that is going to be indicative of where the channel is going from this point forward. This is strictly a bonus video because even though I am keeping my promise to branch out the Apptrepreneur into other app-related topics other than Uber and rideshare, and so far the response has been fairly positive aside from the people who was like, well, I don't really watch those videos, which is like, yep, that's fine. You don't have to watch the rideshare ones, and you don't have to watch the Spotify or the Netflix or Amazon ones if you don't want to. But it's also called YouTube, which means this is personal. And while I do have a personal channel, I think people also like it when you bring a little bit of yourself into the work to connect with you better. And people know that, hey, I am engaged, I am getting married, and I am planning the wedding, and people did want a few updates. And while I don't know how much time I are actually doing, I will try to update when I can. And this seems like a good time to actually give an update because it's a little frustrating. I knew planning the wedding would be stressful, but here's the thing. We have actually been on top of the wedding. First of all, a little context. For those who are not aware, we are going to have a Disney-themed wedding. That does not mean that Mickey Mouse is going to marry us. This does not mean that we are going to say I do under two lightsabers, going back and forth. It does not mean we're going to have like 101 Dalmatians just walking around. It's going to be Disney themed. It's going to be subtle. You will find out more I'm talking about maybe in a future video when I share that kind of information. But I was kind of talking about it, and there goes the heater, with Katie, and I joked, maybe we'll have a Disney wedding, and it was just a joke. And here's the thing, got to be careful of. Don't joke about things like that with someone you plan to ask to marry you, because they might take it seriously and then you get stuck doing it. But I have to admit, the Disney theme has actually made it a lot more fun to plan than it otherwise would have been. And we have been on top of it. We have the venue selected and paid for. We have the dress. We have the suit. We have the photography. We have the DJ. I am still finalizing the music playlist, but we have almost got the music playlist figured out. We have got the catering figured out. We have got the guest list finalized, which, hey, you know what? If things work out, some of the other Uber tubers might actually be live streaming from the wedding, if they decide to come, and if they decide to do that, who knows? Anything could happen. So we are pretty much on top of it. And I have been joking to people that so far the most stressful thing has been the invitations. And boy, had the invitations been such a nightmare. And here's what I'm talking about. We have found several invitations that we actually like, and now that I'm in this little video, it kind of dawns on me. I probably look a lot like Tim Pool, but I don't do political commentary that much, so yeah, that's interesting. But we fell in love with invitations like this, and I'm going to show you some of the invitations that we really fell in love with, and it's frustrating how expensive they are. Now, actually, we're going to come back to this one a little later because this is the one that I've actually got the biggest bone to pick with, if you will. So this is one that we saw. We definitely liked it. We are leaning heavily towards a Be Our Guest wedding invitation because we like the rose and we like the whole Be Our Guest idea for a wedding invitation. Now, this is a fairly fancy one. It's got some foil, as you can see. It opens up, like say. It's got the RSVP card and the envelopes. It's all very, very nice. And it's like, this is where I realize how expensive weddings can be. Because if we need at least 134, and then you want like a dozen extra for keepsakes and stuff like that. So we have a set of 144. Now, if, let's actually go up here for a second. If I want the cards, and I want the RSVP card, aka the response card, this will cost me $813.98, and I'm not even sure if the shipping is included. Over $800 for invitations. And if I was to play with that silly save the date thing, which we are not going to do save the date cards, that is so redundant. To buy a card, spending a lot of money on cards to mail out to people with postage you got to buy to tell them you will send them another card that will officially... No, we're not going to do that. But if I wanted to do that, over $1,000 for these wedding invitations. Over $1,000. And granted, don't get me wrong, that's nice. That is a nice card. But that's actually a down payment. Like, that's more than a security deposit for an apartment. We're talking about wedding invitations. So, okay, maybe this one doesn't work out. What about other ones you're looking at? Well, we do have this one. I'm not quite as crazy about it. It's Cinderella. Cinderella is not my favorite Disney movie, to be perfectly honest. I actually like the live-action one better than the animated one. I know, sacrilegious to admit. I think it's true. The animated Cinderella is like probably a 3-star movie, and the live action is a 4. So there you go. But, this isn't a bad invitation. It's got a little fold out. It's got the little seal. I mean, I think it's a little too cartoony. Again, we want to be subtle. This is subtle. This is not subtle. This is very... Oh, sorry, my ear. This is very, very plainly Disney. So... I don't know. By the way, it should be noted that you see this up to 30% off. Yeah, no discounts apply for the Disney invitations on this site. So that's annoying. But, we've already calculated if you want the RSVP and you want the cards, $387.38. And that's something it probably costs more when you add the seals on it. And, why wouldn't you add the seal, to be honest? That's a little better, I think. But we're going to tell you why that's such a frustrating number to come to in a minute. Now, we could do something a little bit more simple. Like, for example, this is a make your own. They have a design, a PDF design. You have them customize it, both the RSVP and the card, and then they send it to you. And you can take it to Costco or Kinko's or Target, whoever does invitation printouts, and you can make your own. And this might be one way to do it. And that looks like a very nice invitation. If you get the right paper, then I don't think anyone's going to complain. Well, also the invitation is not the most important part, which is, it's funny that this is the one part of the wedding that really seems to have me a little pissed off and Katie a little disappointed. But here's the thing. It also is going to take a lot of time to fill these out when you do it yourself. We're talking about... you have to write the addresses on the return envelopes. You have to write the addresses on the envelopes when you send them out. You got to buy 2 sets of postage. You have to buy the paper. Before you know it, it could come close to this cost. Now, granted, with this cost, you still have to buy the postage on top of that. I am fully aware of that. But it could conceivably take hours, and I mean hours, to set this up. So... I don't know. I mean, granted, we still have 9 months. Maybe that's hours we want to spend. We could just binge watch a show while we're writing all these addresses on the envelopes and getting carpal tunnel syndrome. My time's a little bit more valuable than that. I think both of our time is a little bit more valuable than that. And if I'm doing that, then that's going to make for a very boring live stream. Like, I think I'd have to live stream me actually putting these together. But who knows? Maybe you guys would want to do that. I don't know. But the time is a factor. Now, if we really want to be cheap and maybe even kind of want to fake it a little bit, this is not a terrible idea. This is one where it's customizable, but it's a discount card. You can put your picture and it's got roses. So we can, instead of staying together with their parents, we could have Be Our Guest right there. And maybe we can even have pictures of Katie in front of the castle. Those are our engagement photos. And maybe... me and Katie with Belle and the Beast, we can contact Disney and see, is there a way that we can get a picture with me and Belle with me and Katie with Belle and the Beast. Who knows? And this would be less than $200, and this does qualify for the discount. So this one might work. This might work. It's again, it's not as nice as that one, but it's nice. Now, the last thing we want to talk about before I get into what really inspired me to make this video, what really got me pissed off, is this. Now, this is a personalized Disney ticket invitation. Now, this could be a save our date thing, but It also can include enough information on it that it could count as a full wedding invitation, and it would be a unique one. And these are $1.31 each. So we wouldn't do that design. That's a possibility. That's also a possibility, though probably not. Maybe that. Again, possibility. But that's the one that we were leaning towards. Characters on it. But you know what? I would be okay with it this one time. I know some of us would want us to do this one. And actually that one's my favorite. But Legend of Zelda is not owned by Disney. So, you know, this one seems to be the one that we would definitely want to do. And, you know, I think, well, let's just violet hue and white glossy photo. And let's see here. We'd want about a dozen more. Let's just say 150. 150 for this. Okay, so almost $200, and I believe the shipping is free because it's more than $180. So this could possibly work. Now, we would have to buy some envelopes, and we'd have to do that whole thing. But, you know, for something that looks as unique as this, maybe that's not 100% a bad thing. And this is actually one of our favorites. But here's what really... an RSVP and 2 envelopes with addresses printed on it. That is what they are showing. They are not showing in any of these pictures one of these things alone. They just are not. So, but I'm thinking, you know, we could probably do that. But here's the thing. We actually called these people after we had bought the sample because we had a few more questions. And it's always, this is why it's good to call and ask questions. Apparently, this amount was only for the card. If you wanted the RSVP, that's another $100. If you want the envelopes with them, that's an additional $300. You want the printing on it, that's an additional $220. Look, I'm looking at this, and what is it? Listen, look, it says set. It says set. There is a picture of a set. And they want to tack on an additional $700 after the fact to get the things that they are already advertising. That, in my opinion, is very, very dishonest. I don't care how nice these invitations are, especially since, you know what? Let's do this. Because I remember seeing this at one point. There was a proper way to do this, as they say. Where is it? I saw it was a little earlier. I wish I had done this, looked at this sooner. Like, oh darn, now I can't. Now I find it. But here, maybe this one will show what I'm trying to get at here. So yeah. And this is the correct way to do it. Now, this is not a wedding invitation me and Katie would probably be interested in doing. But, you know, it's a nice invitation, you know. It has, you know, the little Cinderella carriage, and it has the glass slipper and all that jazz. So, you know, not bad. But look at how they did it. They have invitation only. They have invitation RSVP. invitation and details, RSVP card, reception card, accommodation card, gift registry card, details card. Holy cow. Am I going to be spending more money on this stuff? Maybe I am. But look, they are very upfront about what you will and will not be getting when you put it. This, which we absolutely fell in love with, and we would definitely want to do this. You go there, it says set. I see a picture of a wedding invitation set. But, and here's the thing, what if I actually decided, hey, you know what? Let's buy this. Let's put these things. We buy this, and then they say, oh, by the way, it's going to be an additional $700 to do what we are advertising. Like, this, I've heard that weddings are like $1 billion business. Like, you know, they just tack on all these things, and they really pressure you. You need to do that stuff because it's your one day of the year. You're never going to do this again. And so you spend hundreds of dollars on invitations when you would normally not spend hundreds of dollars on invitations. Heck, most people would settle with Facebook. I don't know why we're not doing more digital Facebook stuff. And the ironic thing when they tell you that, of course, is when you go to like a wedding planner who like does all this stuff. Thankfully, we're doing a lot of this ourselves because, you know, I'm a little bit more business savvy than most. So I know how to negotiate good prices and stuff. But if you go to like a wedding planner who like just overtakes the wedding and plans all these things for you, one of the things that they tack on, they push, oh, you want to do this, you want to do this, you want to do this because it's going to be the one time in your life you're going to do this. And then after you spend all the money, like, by the way, do you want wedding insurance? And it's like, what's wedding insurance? And it's like, for a third of what your wedding costs, you can pay them insurance. And in the event of a divorce, in the event you get divorced, you get the next wedding half off. It's, I know, first world problems. First world problems. Most people just go to Vegas and get $20 of free gambling chips after they tie the knot with Elvis walking them down the aisle. But, you know, so anyway, this Moonlight invite, I have to say, I really fell in love with their invitations. Really fell in love with them. But that was pretty dishonest. And that's what inspired me to make this little rant. Most likely we're going to go with either this one or this one. Not the castle. Like that one. That one we'll probably go with. Maybe we can make an exception for that. I don't know. Or actually, that one might be the most subtle, but I think that one's a save the date one. That one's like an actual invitation. So, you know, anyway, it's I think some people are kind of looking at me right now. Let's get this off the screen, and they're kind of going like, you know, App. Most people aren't stressed about the invitations. Most people are stressed about the venue and the catering and things like that. And the fact that you've already got it means that you're very much ahead of the game. And you know what? Again, I am very blessed that I was able to negotiate those things very, very early on. So, you know what? You know, got to keep perspective. It's not completely bad. It's actually more good than bad. But like I said, this thing just pissed me off. Who knows? I might even share this video with them on Twitter. That was because I thought that was like extremely, extremely dishonest. And, you know, as well, I can't find it now. Now I can't find it anymore. Oh, yeah. But as this showed, this is how you do it. This is not how you do it. But anyway, so, oh, I guess I still need that thing up. Okay, I guess that thing didn't go away. So anyway, now let's take it off. And so anyway, yeah, so that's my little rant. Thank you for this little bonus video. Don't worry, they're not all going to be like this, but we're going to do a little bit more vlogging as the wedding goes along. And don't worry, the Uber videos are going to keep coming. In fact, I discovered a new little service that might make Uber drivers a little bit more money. So keep an eye on that for either Tuesday or Wednesday. But in the meantime, what do you think about this? Like, is this worth getting upset about? Maybe it's just me. I don't know. I'd love to know, though. So comment below, like, favorite, share, subscribe if you enjoy my videos. And hey, if you want to see more videos like this, maybe this video you actually like quite a bit. You know, let me know in the comments. And if you want to support more like this, consider becoming a Patreon member. It's totally optional, but even as little as $1 a month goes a long way to helping the channel run smoothly. And you get access to my exclusive Patrons-only blog. And as always, flame responsibly. And have a good one.